Welcome to a sunny and warm Knockhill racing circuit for the third round of the Scottish Sports and Saloons. I say it's sunny at the moment, but you can see some heavy rain clouds hanging around. We have a great field of cars as usual, and we've also got the Mini Coopers as well mixing in with this championship. On pole position is the beautiful number 8 Honda of Finlay Crocker. He had a great qualifying. He's going to start this one on pole position. I'm going to hand it to Richard, and he'll take us through all the action.
Thank you, Joe. Alongside Finlay is Ron Cumming, with William Robson and Paul Bryden next. Thompson McIntyre and Ollie Mortimer row 3. Andrew Morrison and John Brown ahead of Alan Doncaster and Kenneth McKell. That's the top 10. 11th on the grid, Ray McDowell from Gary Waite, then Alistair Bapty and Danny Dreelan. Andrew Patterson and Robert Drummond next from Ian Humpish. A 17-car entry, which sadly is reduced to 16 cars on the grid. Alan Doncaster in his Mitsubishi non-starting, which is a shame. The lighting sequence is complete. Lights out here at Knockhill for round 5 of the Scottish Saloon and Sports Car Championship. As a mega start from Ron Cumming. Not so good for Finlay Crocker as ever, but Finlay getting up through the gears and recovering well. Here's the view from Gary Waite. Immediately in front is Robert Drummond, and Gary's going to have a look down the inside line. Boy, that's tight, going into Scotsman. A little nudge was there, and well, it's thrown the car round. So our first casualties of the race. Gary Waite there, that's the man we were on board with, the 59 Ford Sierra Cosworth. Rejoins Danny Dreelan going past him, and up ahead as well was Finlay Crocker from pole position. He's now third from last. The man who started second, though, Ron Cumming, is out front. The Nimble Nemesis kit car, the 2-litre Class A3 car, leads up the hill with a good clear lead, looking to make it 3 on the bounce. He was a double winner last time. Here is Paul Bryden, and I'll try and resist the urge to call Paul Rob Bryden, as I'm sure I've done before. And it's worse, you know, when you see the name Robert Drummond next on the list as well, but that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. There in car 69 chasing is Thompson McIntyre. 89 up ahead is William Robson. Championship wise, it's Kenneth McKell that leads the championship from Andrew Morrison. William Robson third and is the B1 class leader. Effectively, we've got 6 classes. The A classes run on the slick, when it's dry, racing tyre, and then the B classes run on a treaded tyre. The Class 1s are for 4-wheel drive cars, Class 2 2-wheel drive, Class A3 and B3 for kit cars such as Caterhams and the motorcycle engine cars as well. So effectively 6 classes, and we'll try and keep you up to speed with who's doing what in which class as the race goes on. Here's the view from Alistair Bapty, which great to see Alistair out again, doubling up in the Classics Championship. So the MG BGT V8, Alistair running in the Fiat X19 in the Classic Championship, and incidentally leads the Classic Championship. You'll see that in our sister programme. But doubling up again, he did on the 9th of April, raced in both classes and had a class win in round 1 of the year in the MG, and a second position in class in race 2. Good to see him back out again. As you can see, we've got some very keen racing going on. Finlay Crocker closing on him. There is Andrew Morrison, the 2014 champion. Morrison is going to be the target for Finlay Crocker, who's coming through the field. And look at the difference in size between the MG and the Honda. It just really shows you how, I mean, we know the MGs are smaller cars. I think if that was against an MG midget, it'd be even bigger, but the size differential between contemporary cars and classics really has changed over the years. Alistair Bapty comes from Perth. He's enjoying his racing and looking for a class podium. Finlay Crocker is chasing the white Seat with the yellow flashes, because that's Andrew Morrison, the class leader in Class A2. Morrison with 3 out of 4 class wins so far, hence second position outright in the championship and Class A2 lead. Robert Drummond in the mix as well. Robert is at the moment in 5th position in class in the championship standings. Finlay Crocker picks off another place there, passes Thompson McIntyre. Thompson, the defending champion in Class B1. And we go on board with Ollie Mortimer. I said six classes. We've effectively got 7 because I was not mentioning the Mini R53 class, which has been dominated so far by Ollie Mortimer, multi-champion driver, of course, very well respected, not only here in Scotland but also nationally. Very competent driver, exciting driver to watch as well. And good on-board footage from Ollie, who's looking to make it 5 wins from 5 starts in the R53s. And we were hearing last time out that there are more cars being built, so a really good business model, if you like, that SMRC have here, that if you've got a new Saloon Car Championship coming up, you can run them in this championship. What the SMRC did with the BMW Compact Cup a few years ago, and it caught on so quickly, the BMWs, they had to run standalone races at the end of the first year. It was very much before, I think, it was planned to have the standalone races. Alistair Bapty is past, so the MG still running well, looking for a class podium again. Not bad conditions. Joe was mentioning that the rain was starting to threaten. Now this is the battle here for the Class A2 lead. Finlay Crocker is going to have a look down the inside line. Into Clark, takes it. Not unexpected. Crocker was pole position man, obviously. Andrew Morrison qualified second in class, 7th overall. So there was a differential between the 2 cars, but nonetheless Finlay Crocker putting in a sterling drive through the field in the Honda Civic TCR. And Andrew Morrison is pole. Morrison, though, will retain second in class. Up ahead is Kenneth McKell, so we've got 2 of the top 3 championship drivers all in the mix as Gary Waite looks to the outside. My goodness me, Gary Waite likes going for some gaps, some marginal gaps, and Alistair Bapty in front. Now this is a race for position, of course, so Alistair is perfectly entitled to hold his ground. I wouldn't say that was a defensive move that forced Gary onto the pit lane exit. Alistair, he's looking across, looking in his mirrors, but very well aware that Gary Waite is there. Alistair coming into Clark, that's a wide line in, there he is, there he goes through. Gary Waite, the Bathgate man, makes the move through, looking for a 3rd consecutive class podium in A2. So passing the B class MG, and you can see Ollie Mortimer closing up now as well. Ollie, the leading driver in the R53 class. Ray McDowell running second in class at the moment, and Danny Dreelan in 3rd place. Good to see Danny and Ray back out with us. Meanwhile, out front, Ron Cumming, who won 2 races. Absolute legend is Ron Cumming. Wonderful to see him racing again here at Knockhill. The Nemesis delivering once again. Lone runner in Class A3. It'd be nice if someone else could bring something out to have a race with him. Who knows, we may well see that. But from his perspective, he has to deal with backmarker traffic. And I get told off sometimes for talking about backmarkers. Of course, these guys dicing for overall positions themselves, and you would expect them to be lapped because they are in with smaller engine cars or running with the treaded tyre as opposed to the slick. But Ron Cumming making light work of them, goes through. So Ron makes up another place. That's an issue for Ian Humpish, one of our 3 guest drivers. I mentioned Paul Bryden guesting, and John Brown in the yellow BMW is guesting as well, and Ian Humpish finds himself off the track but will rejoin Kenneth McKell. This is effectively, now although these drivers are in different classes, effectively the battle for the championship. So Kenneth McKell, championship leader, running in Class A1, and I hesitate momentarily to think how many drivers we've got in the classes. Basically, with Class A1 at the moment led by Robert Drummond, Kenneth McKell will, although he'll be in the same position in class as I was going to say Finlay Crocker, as Andrew Morrison will net more points because there are more entrants in Morrison's class. So I think the championship lead is going to come down. It is 9 points at the moment, and will come down to perhaps 3 points. Maths to be confirmed. Sadly, confirmation of a retirement for Alistair Bapty. As onto the last lap goes Ron Cumming, who is well clear. Ron Cumming is 23 seconds clear of Paul Bryden. Good to see the reigning champion in second place, and a good return to the track for him. Robert Drummond is in third and leading Class A1. So Ron Cumming leads the race outright. Robert Drummond leading A1. Finlay Crocker is winning Class A2, immediately ahead of Andrew Morrison. But Ron Cumming, fastest lap of the race as well, a shade under 90 miles an hour. And it's been a super drive by Ron once again. Goes down into the hairpin. He's dealt with all of the traffic that he's had to deal with in fine style and banged in that fastest lap, converts second position into a checkered flag, third win of the year. Look for the BMW. Here comes John Brown across the line. Then it was Andrew Patterson. Andrew in Class B3 taking a win, 13th overall. There is Paul Bryden taking second place, a flash of the lights for him. Third place goes to Robert Drummond. Robert winning Class A1 just in time, you can see from the rain on the camera lens, which starts to come down at the end of the race. Thankfully we got through relatively incident free, and here's the result. Ron Cumming takes the win from Paul Bryden and Robert Drummond. Finlay Crocker next from Andrew Morrison and Kenneth McKell, then William Robson and John Brown, Gary Waite and Ollie Mortimer completing the top 10. Mortimer winning the Mini Cooper R53 class. Ray McDowell next from Danny Dreelan, and then Andrew Patterson and Ian Humpish completing the finishes.
Scottish Sports and Saloons race number 2, and we have full dry conditions. There's no chance of the downpour we saw at the end of yesterday's race, and Ron Cumming on pole position this time, having won the first one. We've also got Ollie Mortimer on pole position for the Cooper S part of it, which is really starting to build some momentum. Loads of cars, loads of power heading out on track, and Ollie, Richard, take us through the action.
Thanks very much, Joe. It is Ron Cumming then on pole position by virtue of yesterday's win. Paul Bryden due to start alongside Robert Drummond and Finlay Crocker on row 2. Then it's Andrew Morrison and Kenneth McKell, William Robson and John Brown, followed by Gary Waite and Ollie Mortimer. Danny Dreelan is next from Andrew Patterson, Ian Humpish, Thompson McIntyre, Alistair Bapty, Alan Doncaster and Johnny Dreelan. Johnny taking over the number 5 car from Ray McDowell. Johnny, incidentally, is a guest driver, but we'll still look at the result in the context of the R53. The lights are on. There is a gap, as you can see, where Paul Bryden should have been. Paul, a non-starter, alongside Thompson McIntyre and also Alan Doncaster, but it's once again Ron Cumming that gets away. Finlay Crocker, class leader. Here is the view from Ollie Mortimer, who can get stuck into some of the faster class cars, and William Robson is there as well. That's a problem for Kenneth McKell, the championship leader. Kenneth McKell, that's not going to do his title aspirations much good at all. And McKell, who saw his championship lead cut by Andrew Morrison in race number 1, simply by virtue of the number of cars starting in class. So Morrison now 3 points behind McKell. Is going to look very good here, Morrison, in the white and yellow Seat, if he picks up second position once again. Just having a quick look, we have got 3 Class A2 starters, so it's going to be maximum points available in Class A2. Ron Cumming, meanwhile, is away and down the road, so he'll be looking to try and improve on the time that he set in yesterday's race. And we were very fortunate yesterday that the rain didn't come to fruition earlier on in the race. Good move there by Finlay Crocker, who makes a move and passes Robert Drummond in the 29 car. Robert, just the one retirement so far, had 2 outright wins, 1 class second place, retirement round 4, another class win for him in round 5. And Robert Drummond climbing up the championship order. The other driver we have to watch out for championship wise is Andrew Patterson in the BMW, running in class B3, but he's been a lone entrant. But the key point there is that he is finishing all the races, and he is 4th in the standings by my maths after the last race, as we watch Ollie Mortimer having a look down the inside line of the 26 car of Andrew Patterson. So Patterson here being consistent. I'm sure he'd welcome some other drivers to race with in class, but championship wise, if he manages to finish all the races, then there's no reason why he might pull off a surprise and perhaps be overall champion at the end. Depends what the other front runners do. Remember, Kenneth McKell, championship leader, on board with Alistair Baptiste, non-finisher in race number 1. But the other drivers, championship-wise, we need to look out for. Say, Kenneth McKell leads the championship, 104 points. Andrew Morrison second on 101. William Robson third at the moment on 98. John Brown in that immaculate BMW, and the two yellow fellas giving us a good display of driving here. And Alistair Baptiste, fair play, looking at the outside line. He's going to have the run up the hill here. So BMW versus MG. The MG, that was a good move from Alistair Baptiste. Good commitment round the outside at the hairpin. Got a good line out, floored it and goes through. So a super race going on between Alistair and John Brown. John will be the top guest driver. Now, of course, the guest drivers in different classes. I mentioned that Johnny Dreelan running in the guests as well. Sadly, Paul Bryden not taking to the grid in this one after a fine second position in race number 1. Nice bit of tail out there from the BMW. Ollie Mortimer flying still at the head of the R53s. Now this is the point where we saw Alistair Baptiste get back in front, although coming down into the hairpin, John Brown is that much quicker, and the BMW goes back through and into, I think, 7th position, and that's going to change now because Gary Waite is off the track. We're on lap 4. Gary Waite is into retirement. That's a shame. Gary Waite, by my reckoning, first retirement of the year for the Bathgate man, so he is going to be out of it. Kenneth McKell passed there by Andrew Morrison. So Kenneth looking far from happy in this one as well, and I'm wondering if that is going to be a retirement for the championship leader, and I think we're going to be saying erstwhile championship leader. Robert Drummond is there as well. So Ron Cumming leading the race at the moment. Finlay Crocker in pursuit in second. Then we've got Andrew Morrison followed by Robert Drummond. So the two cars in shot, third and fourth. And they go up the hill. There is Kenneth McKell, who we saw have problems. He seems to be soldiering on at the moment. And now battle between William Robson and John Brown, which is for 5th place. Kenneth McKell just in front of them at the moment. And John Brown here in the 3.2 litre BMW. They get past Kenneth McKell. McKell's doing the sensible thing here at the moment. He's trying to keep going to bag some championship points. He knows that the outright championship lead is in the balance here. Now he's running in Class A1. I'm just trying to work out who's going to be nearest competitor to him in Class A1. Probably going to be Robert Drummond. So Drummond leading class at the moment. If Robert Drummond finishes, I think Kenneth McKell could well stay up in the championship lead, but it is going to be dependent on him finishing the race. Here's Ron Cumming out front. Best lap, 52.9. How does that compare with yesterday? 52.1 for Ron yesterday, but he's looking for another win. Past Kenneth McKell. Tops a lap on the 37 car and well clear. The gap, though, not as big as yesterday. Now remember that Finlay Crocker set pole position time. The gap in the first race, 23 seconds, Ron Cumming to Paul Bryden. But Finlay Crocker had that moment and had to work his way through the back of the field. And he's, at the moment, around 10 seconds down on Ron Cumming. Finlay Crocker leading Class A2. Andrew Morrison still second in class. Getting stuck into a little bit of mini traffic. Uphill, there's the second place man, Finlay Crocker. So Ron Cumming continues merrily on his way. Finlay Crocker's best lap, a 54.0. Qualifying times were a tad away from that. The differing conditions of 57 for Finlay Crocker, 58 for Ron Cumming. And Ron now about to pass John Brown, which he does on the inside line. Andrew Patterson will be the next target. Andrew will be passed for the second time by the race leader. Andrew still running in 11th position overall. William Robson is next for the race leader to come past. So there is William, the Class B1 driver. Goes up the hill, Ron Cumming makes the pass. So Robson, the Robson-Brown battle is not on anymore. And Ron Cumming, having lapped everybody up to and including 5th position, Robert Drummond will be the next target for him. Robert Drummond winning Class A1 at the moment, but looks like it's been a fine pair of races for the Nemesis kit car and Ron Cumming, and indeed, as if on cue, Robert Drummond's car is up ahead. Now I can tell you that Kenneth McKell is not going to be a classified finisher. It means that Andrew Morrison here, by my reckoning, is going to take the championship lead, with William Robson moving up to second. Passing Robert Drummond goes Ron Cumming, and out of the hairpin for the last time comes up the hill, and it's a double there for Ron Cumming. Double winner last time, double winner here this weekend as well. Robert Drummond wins Class A1. He was followed by William Robson, then it was John Brown. Andrew Patterson crosses the line. Finley Crocker takes second place. Behind Finley was Andrew Morrison, and Andrew, as we said, taking the championship lead from William Robson. Robert Drummond 4th, William Robson 5th, from John Brown, Ollie Mortimer, Danny Dreeland, Johnny Dreeland 9th, Ian Humpish in 10th place, and the finish is completed by Andrew Patterson, who moves up to 3rd in the standings.
And our winner, a drama before it even started. It was 9 laps, you'd fueled for 9, then they gave you a wee treat and extended it to 12, which caught you out.
Yeah, a little bit caught out there, but they allowed us time to give us a wee top up, and everything worked out well. It was a great race.
Once you got going, you've got the speed, but more importantly, you've got that reliability that you need in this class.
Well, that's right. Just to be consistent out there, know the race speed I need, the lap times you need, and just keep it consistent.
Well done.
Okay, thanks very much.
Finley Crocker, enjoying your racing again, got in the car. The car is now running properly. You've been jumping between that and the Cavalier touring car, which you sadly haven't got out in today, but still, it's a good race and a good result.
Yeah, it's been sort of rounded the weekend off quite well. Qualified on pole yesterday in the wet. The car was absolutely awesome in the wet, actually. Really enjoyed that, and I like driving in the wet. As you say, never got out in the Cavalier. Rounded the weekend off quite well. Sun shining, and yeah, it's good fun. Car's going okay, which is good. Never had any problems with it last year, and we had a couple of wee niggly things this year, so should have hopefully got on top of them, and yeah, it's fine.
The ex-John Cleland touring car that you've got, the Astra, can you bring that into this championship? Are you going to do that? Is that in the plan?
I think it's probably, I'd like to run it from time to time. It's a 93 car. I think, to be honest, I don't want to flog the thing to death. I'm actually scared that if I start driving it, I'll enjoy it too much and want to drive it too much. And I'm conscious that, getting spares and looking after it, I feel a bit of an element of responsibility having a car with the sort of pedigree and heritage it's got and looking after it. So yeah, we'll see. I wouldn't mind.
We look forward to it, but well done.
Okay, thank you.